You, Devin, and a serious conversation today for Nursing the North. According to the CDC, suicide is the leading cause of death in the U.S. Nearly 46,000 people in 2020. Here to tell us more about suicide awareness is Nurse Christina Paris from the VA. Thanks for joining us this morning, Christina.
Hi, good morning.
Yes.
I know, it's a heavy week, and
it
I
really
apologize, but these are really important topics.
Yes, and we're glad you're here to talk to us about it.
Thank you.
So, tell us, what are some things we need to know about suicide?
So suicide usually stems from depression, which can be a chemical imbalance or faulty mood regulation that some people can have, or stressful life events. And some are even genetically predispositioned to depression. Now, 1 in 6 people will have an actual depressive episode within their lifetime where they feel just pretty overwhelmed and upset. And again, it has biological, psychological, and social implications.
Gotcha. Well, can you tell us what to watch for if we want to help a loved one or someone in our lives?
Sure. So, you know, when we watch movies, the directors will often foreshadow. So they'll put the character in a dark place or have him half shadowed his face, you know, and that lets us know something bad is going to happen. Unfortunately, we don't have that always with our loved ones, but there are things that we can look for. If you have a loved one who is feeling hopeless, feeling like there's just no way out. Maybe they're anxious or agitated. They've had sleeplessness. They have mood swings, feeling like there's no reason to live. So they're just trapped. Might have rage, getting involved in risky behavior, increased alcohol or drug abuse, or maybe they're just even pulling away from family or not interested in activities. And they've talked about or are thinking about hurting themselves, looking for ways to die. Those are all signs that you really want to watch for.
All right, so that could be a wide range of things.
Right,
All right. So if moving forward, how can we help a friend or loved one who we think is getting depressed?
Sure.
Yeah.
So the big thing is you want to talk to them about it. You can say stuff like, hey, look, it sounds like you're under a lot of stress right now. How are you handling things? Do you feel like taking your own life? Have you thought about suicide? So you want to directly ask people. So you watch for signs. So the VA has SAVE. So S is signs. You want to look for signs of suicidal behavior and recognize. Those are the ones that we just talked about. You want to ask, are you thinking about killing yourself? By asking that question, you're not putting that thought in their head. They already have the thought. What you're doing is the next one, V, validating. You're validating the person's experience. And you want to encourage and expedite any kind of treatment. So if you have a conversation with a loved one and they've talked about, you know, being down or being depressed, you don't want to leave them alone. You want to seek help. There's all kinds of things. There's the crisis helpline, which is 988. You can call, and I tell veterans all the time, this is a crisis hotline. It's not necessarily a suicide hotline. So if you're feeling in crisis, you're feeling overwhelmed, I think of the song Anyone by Demi Lovato. I mean, if you really want to feel the essence of somebody desperate, that's a crisis right there, you know, hearing that song and the words that she talks about. So if you have those, reach out to a clergyman, reach out to neighbors, and if you have a loved one who you feel is in crisis, you can always call the police to do welfare checks, and they will check on that person and help them get the help that they need. So,
well, it's good to know that the resources are out there.
Absolutely.
And it's, you know, important for these people, you know, who may be having these crises to know they're not alone.
Right. And you can, there's even a text line. Let's see if I can find it quickly. So you can, like I said, you can call 988. And I did not write it down, I apologize, but there are ways and places that you can even text support. And if you have questions, call the veterans, the Veteran Association or the VA we have all the numbers. We'd be happy to set people in the right direction.
We absolutely know you would. And thank you again, Christina, for coming on and talking about this tough subject, especially, you know, with winter depression maybe being a little bit onset, especially in these cold winter months heading up. It's important to always look out for your neighbors.
It is. It is. Thank you.
Thank you, Christina. And coming up, we have